our next speaker is, I keep saying this about everybody, a good friend of mine, but she really is, Lindsey Miller. So after spending a decade in politics and almost the same amount of time in WordPress and WooCommerce ecosystem, Lindsey Miller created My Marketing Assistant. Her passion for making a difference in the world led her to create a business built around the success of others. Lindsey's goals when working with clients is to eliminate the marketing mystery. She knows her clients win when we know and follow the rules. Lindsey doesn't take shortcuts. She does the work to help clients grow their businesses the right way. She works to stay knowledgeable about marketing strategies to ensure her clients follow best practices. One of her favorite things is talking to clients about creative strategies. Lindsey graduated from the University of Oklahoma with a bachelor's degree in history and a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. Lindsey loves spending time with her family and friends in her off time. She takes pride in her volunteer service and loves giving her time to organizations and causes. She enjoys traveling and cooking. In fact, she takes cooking classes in almost every new location she visits and believes it's the best way to learn about other cultures. I think that's pretty cool. I love food. So, there you go. You can find Lindsey with a book in her hand when she's alone. She says her partner, Corey Miller, and her children, Callaway and Lillian, are collectively the funniest and sweetest human beings. They make life worth living. And yes, they absolutely are. So today, Lindsey is going to talk to us about smart outsourcing, when and why it works for marketing. Outsourcing can be transformative for your business, streamlining your marketing efforts, reducing costs, and bringing specialized expertise to your projects. Whether you're a small business owner or a marketing manager, you'll learn about the benefits of outsourcing, when it's the right choice for your business, and how to choose the perfect marketing partner. In this talk today, you're going to hear the outline, practical insights, and real-world case studies that demonstrate the impact of strategic outsourcing. By enhancing your marketing strategy through outsourcing, you can achieve better results with less effort. Let's bring Lindsey in. Hey,
hi.
Lindsey.
Can you introduce me all the time? That sounded so nice.
I always let people stay in the green room, so to speak, right? Like, it's so hard to be on camera and just like smile through your introduction. So I do it for you, and then I bring you in. But yeah, this is exciting. I often tell the story of how I would have people come to me when I was back in my freelancing days building websites. So websites are part of marketing strategy, right? But building websites, when people would come to me and say, I feel dumb, like I should be able to do this for myself. And I used to say things like, I can't fix the engine of my car by myself, so why should you be able to build your own website, right? So like, we all have core competencies. We have things that we're focusing on that bring us the best value in the moment. And sometimes outsourcing those things is what really can actually help you generate more revenue. Hope I didn't steal your bottom line, but I'm excited to hear your talk.
I'm just going to keep listening to you, Michelle.
Oh, I'm about ready to turn it over to you. I'm going to grab a sandwich. No, I'm actually going to keep listening because I want to hear your talk. But are you going to talk? Do you have slides or
I do have slides. So let me do my, I guess, share my screen here.
Yep.
Oh, I show my whole screen. No, I don't. Okay, I don't have to.
You can pick,
I was hoping I didn't have
pick
to.
whichever one you want. Yeah.
Nobody wants to see all of my things.
I have too many tabs open. I would scare people if I shared my whole
screen.
I
think that's exactly the where I was getting.
All right. So it's over to you, Lindsey. I'm going to remove myself. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. And I'm also going to start my timer because I'm going to have to keep track of myself because I can talk about this all day. I think that marketing is one of those things like Michelle, your car engine example, it's fantastic because of course, you're going to have somebody that does that. When it comes to marketing, people have this misconception of like, well, it's just social media. It's just writing emails. It's a blog post. How hard can it be? I should do those things. But it really is a specialized skill. And even though I've been in marketing for so long, I don't know all of the marketing things. So even though I would consider myself an expert in marketing, I can't possibly be an expert in all facets. And so that's why we have teams that come together to bring their own expertise. And so these are the things we're going to talk about today. So let's just go over all of this, right? So one of the top reasons that a business fails is because of ineffective marketing. Like, no joke. These are cited things from Gartner and PricewaterhouseCoopers. And then even whenever you're talking, there was one of these organizations did a survey and found that 75% of chief marketing officers continue to face increased pressure to do more with less. And every single person out there, if you are in a marketing department or if you're supervising a marketing department, I know you know what I'm talking about. Because that's the thing. It's like we can use AI now. We can use all of these tools, so you don't need budget for X amount of things, right? So we're under more pressure as marketers and as executives and as business owners, and yet it's such an important part of how our business succeeds. And so today we're really going to talk about four overarching things: the benefits of outsourcing, when is the right time? Because if you have a new business or anything else like that, you really got to look at those numbers and find out when is the right time to find an outsource partner. And then choosing that right person. What are some things to look out for? We even have some sample questions that I can go over when you're interviewing agencies or freelancers. And then finally, sort of ending the talk today with practical insights of how to make it really successful whenever you do choose to outsource. So, first off, let's just talk about the benefits. So, when you're working with an outsource partner, you are talking to people with experience and expertise. It also can be really cost effective. And we're going to go into this a little bit further. It also tends to save a lot of time, not for lots of various reasons. And it lets you also just enhance your strategy and your creativity. You always heard the two heads are better than one. And the same thing happens whenever it comes to marketing. So, first, when you outsource, it's going to give you an access to a wealth of expertise and experience. So, not only marketing agencies, but also marketing professionals and freelancers who are out there, they can bring specialized skill sets that may not be available in house. They may not be skills that you have yourself. And so it really allows you to broaden your reach, broaden your own knowledge base by bringing in experts that can help assist you. You also have somebody else that's keeping up with all the latest trends. Like sometimes that feels like a full time job. Like think about all of the introduction of new tech, not just this year with everyone talking more about automations, but all of the new tech spaces that come out, all of the new, even if we talk about just WordPress plugins, there's constant innovations. We just listened to David and Michelle talk about all the things that Stellar is doing with their products, and can you possibly stay on top of all of that as a business owner, right? So bringing someone else in that has their area of expertise and the things that they're focusing on can really help you stay on top of those latest trends. Agencies and freelance professionals also have experience working across different industries. It means that they can bring in diverse insights and strategies to your business. So, for example, we have someone on the My Marketing Assistant time who spent a lot of her background in social media in construction. And so, when we've had construction companies come to us, we're like, yes, we can handle that. Now, if I was handling their marketing on my own, it may not be an area that I could really help somebody. But because we have a diverse team with diverse backgrounds, we're really able to come to the table with that. And this is the case for all agencies, or when you're interviewing freelancers, you can find people with the background that you need. Established marketing agencies also have a proven track record. Freelancers too, if you're interviewing people, they can show you case studies and testimonials from past clients just to demonstrate their ability to deliver results for you. So if you take this example, you have a small business that doesn't have a dedicated social media manager. And by outsourcing, they can now tap into the expertise of social media specialists who know how to create engaging content, how to manage their campaign, and analyze results effectively. So coming in immediately and taking that over without any training, without any major overhead, and it brings those people in. Another great example is a company looking to improve its SEO. SEO is something that often is outsourced. And sometimes it's because they don't have the right person in house. Sometimes it's just because it is so specialized that it's easier to find somebody outside of the team. And so those people are coming in with very specific expertise in organic search marketing and can stay on top of the website and all other areas of the marketing pieces to make sure that it stays top of mind. And so those are two just like very specific examples or even general examples that can talk about how expertise and experience can really help broaden everything for your business. Now, this is probably my favorite thing about outsourcing. I do this with my own business as well. It's really cost effective. And I don't think that hiring is nearly as difficult as everybody says it is these days. I found some really fantastic team members to be a part of my team, but I do think it's time consuming and it is really pricey. So, when you're thinking about hiring someone and you're considering salaries and benefits, training that person, outsourcing can often provide a better, I mean, I hate to say ROI, but can often return better for you because you don't have to go through all of those different steps. For even at my marketing assistant, we're constantly training and developing because we do have to stay on top of all of these trends. And so taking that on as a business owner, it is expensive. But now if you're having to do that within your own in-house team, you get to save that money. We have an example here that I wrote out that, you have a small business that needs graphic design, content creation, and social media management, and hiring 3 different specialists to fill those roles with inside your business can be really expensive. But finding a full service agency that can provide those services, even if they're just like fractional pieces of what they're providing, can tend to be a lot more cost effective for you. And so as business owners, sometimes it comes down to bottom line, right? And so outsourcing can really be a benefit here. Time savings. This is the other thing. We want to save time and we want to save money. That's all any of us ever think about. And so outsourced teams tend to bring, refined processes and methods to the table. They're going to ensure that tasks are completed quickly and effectively. For them, like if they don't meet those deadlines, like they're going to potentially lose a client and you get to go find somebody else to fill that role. It doesn't necessarily take all of the, performance reviews and things like that. So when you're working with somebody on the outside, like they're going to stay on top of their project management. They're likely also working for other people. And so that has to be an important part of just their daily routine and where I think they can really succeed for people. They also are ensuring there's regular marketing efforts. It's the same thing. They're doing project management all the time and they're maintaining this consistent schedule for you. And that's really crucial for engagement with your own audience. There's also this routine tasks, taking those just off of your plate, like social media posting, email marketing, making sure things are connected on the background, content updates. All of these things can be outsourced by teams, freeing up your own time and time for your team as well. One of the things we like to say, and the people sometimes that we really love to work with the most are marketing managers or marketing directors, because they understand what needs to happen at a very high level. And then they can come to us and we get to do all of the, smaller tasks and things that just like gets it off of their plate that's so time consuming, so they can continue to think about strategic initiatives, larger campaigns that are really impacting the overall vision of the business. And then we're just kind of taking the execution off of their plate and it frees up hours in a day for them. And so it really is a major, time savings. So we also consider, enhanced strategy and creativity. So outsourced teams can, bring new and innovative ideas into the marketing because they're bringing fresh perspectives. They haven't been involved in the business for so long that they're just kind of like stuck in that tunnel vision of things that they've tried before that maybe didn't work, or ideas that they wanted to happen. And so it really can help people think outside the box. Working with a diverse team of creative professionals. So, teams that you bring in, if it's an agency, for example, they are going to have varied backgrounds and experiences. And ultimately, it's just going to create a more creative and well-rounded marketing approach and just keep you talking to the diverse audiences that you already have. We also get to utilize the benefit of for strategic marketing and planning. So having somebody else that's thinking about these strategic initiatives and planning and thinking ahead of time. So for our team and other agencies like us, we're not just like we're done thinking about July. I had to look at my calendar and be like, what month is it? But we're done thinking about July. We're already halfway through planning or already executed things for August. And we're now talking about September. And in our like forefront of our mind, we're thinking about the fourth quarter of this year for all of our clients. And so, like, that's what outsourcing to people is bringing to the table. It's like, we're not just like creating defensive marketing. We're in offensive marketing trying to drive all of these initiatives forward. And we talked about this, already, but you're going to find I'm repeating myself a lot in this presentation today because these concepts really do repeat each other. But staying ahead with continuous innovation. So we want to make sure that marketing is staying fresh and competitive. They're bringing in all of these new ideas and approach. And this is just one of the many benefits of working with an outsourced agency or freelancer. So now I want to talk about common misconceptions, because I think we get in our head sometimes when we think about bringing someone else in who, like, quote unquote, isn't our employee, and like, what does that mean for us? And so, like, probably top of mind is like fear of losing control of our brand and messaging. And it doesn't. Like, reputable agencies, reputable freelancers should and do work closely with clients to ensure there is brand consistency and voice alignment, and that it is very seamless when you have somebody else creating for you. And so, like, I think that's probably the number one thing that I hear the most. The second is people really perceive it as expensive. And for sure, costs are involved. Like, marketers, agencies, and freelancers aren't going to work for free, but it can be more cost effective compared to maintaining an in-house team. We already talked about it, salaries, benefits, training, like keeping everything up to date, sending somebody computers, like equipment, all of these things factor into those costs that don't exist whenever you are outsourcing these things. I'm not going to go over all of these bullets because I don't want to run out of time today. But one more thing, talking about is like data security. We talk a lot about data security. And so, like, we all follow strict confidentiality agreements. If we don't, we're going to talk about that later when we talk about writing or finding the right partner, excuse me. But there's data protection protocols and ensuring client information is secure. And the best agencies and the best freelancers already have these things in place. And so when you're interviewing people, you can make sure that it's there. One more thing to talk about is like just the expectation of immediate results. And like, I'm going to pick on social media here because I hear this so often, but it's like, okay, I've now outsourced this and I'm going to get immediate results compared to like when my team is doing it and it's taking so long. And we know outsourcing can lead to substantial growth, but it does still require, no matter who's doing it, time and consistency. And so all of these things are common misconceptions that are easily talked through and disproved. Now, when is the right time to consider outsourcing? So, does your in-house team lack the necessary skills and expertise that you're needing to take your marketing up to the next level? It can be beneficial for things like SEO. I mean, again, often outsourced to other people because it is such a specific niche of the marketing T, right? The T-shaped marketer. And so this can be something there, content creation, or even social media management, just depending on who you have on your in-house team and where their skills lie. It doesn't mean they are lacking. Like I said, I don't know every single facet of marketing, or am I an expert in every single facet? And so, your marketing manager, your marketing director can't possibly know all of those things either. And so, if they're lacking an area where you're ready to expand in, it is absolutely time to consider outsourcing. If your business doesn't have the time, the personnel, or the budget to dedicate to a robust marketing strategy, outsource can potentially provide the needed support without overextending your internal team. And this goes right into the next piece, or I think this last point on my slide, of scaling quickly. So when you need to scale your efforts quickly, a new product launch, or suddenly one of your marketing campaigns is taking off, and so you're ready to capitalize on that, outsourcing can allow you to scale your marketing efforts up, or also scale them down based on your current needs and your budget, and often without a long-term commitment. So you have the right partner, you're able to be like, I need more from you this month, I need less from you the next month. And so that really allows you to base your decisions on your own budget and needs without having to sacrifice, your full-time employees. And if you have a slow 3 months and you have to let team go instead of just scaling back from an outsourced team, that looks really different, from a business owner's standpoint. So this is going to go over a couple of slides because I think this is really important. Now that we've kind of like said, when do we choose the right time? We've decided it's the right time. Now it's time to choose the right partner. And I take this piece really seriously because I just hear from people all the time that come to me and they had bad experiences with a freelancer or an agency, and sometimes it's absolutely those people's faults. We call them a shadency, because they're out there doing, shady business practices. But sometimes it's just because you didn't choose the right partner. You didn't take the time to really think through your needs and what you were really wanting. And I think that can really be helped on the front end of this so that you and the partner that you choose have a successful relationship, because nobody wants it to end badly. So you want to find a partner that has industry knowledge. So are they somebody that understands what you're wanting to talk about? Like, well, let's talk about WordPress. Do they know to capitalize the P? Right? Like, I know that sounds so silly, but like, think about how many times in your marketing for like your WordPress based business that you type the word WordPress on social media, on emails, on a website, like how many times you type WordPress. And so to have to like tell somebody time and time again in a feedback process to capitalize the P might get a little old, and it's probably not the right partner. So you really want to make sure that they have some industry knowledge so they can understand market dynamics, they can understand your target audience. Now, I don't think it's possible for every person everywhere to have like intimate knowledge. Like, and I'll give a great example. We had a not successful partnership. And we all like talk about all the successes, but I'll be honest. We had a not successful partnership with a construction company, right? I told you we had a team member who has a background in that. And that did not work out for us. But some of that was just, and I'm going to talk about it again in a later slide because it's a really good example of how to make things better. But we can't possibly know everything about their business in a couple of short conversations, right? It really is about this long-term relationship, learning, feedback, communications, because I can't get in someone's head after 30 minutes. I can't even be in somebody's head after 6 months. I can get a whole lot closer after 2. But it just there's just no way. You can't possibly know everything about my business and my voice after a few conversations either. So there really is this fine line between industry knowledge and then understanding everything about your business. So we can know the industry, we don't know you specifically. And so there has to be some give and take there. Second, you want to find a partner with a proven track record of success. So when you're interviewing someone, do they have case studies? Do they have client testimonials? Can they provide insight into their own capabilities? And truth be told, most agencies live and die by referrals. So ask your networks who they use, or ask, the person that you're talking to if they have somebody that you can ask about their relationship. So make sure they have a demonstrated success rate of some kind. Third, communication and collaboration. Geez, this is so huge for all relationships, right? Like, no matter if they're business relationships or interpersonal relationships, like communication is important. But especially when you're outsourcing to partners, collaboration is really important. This ensures your partner is going to prioritize regular updates, transparent communication. They're not just going to fall off the grid. But this is the right space. You want to find somebody that can do these things really well. We talked about this, like when to consider, right? So that you have the freedom to go up to more services or scale back down, depending on your market and your budget. And those can change. And so you have to find a partner that can scale their services to match like your evolving needs, whether you need to ramp up or ramp down. And so this is another really important aspect, not only for your own business decisions, but choosing the right partner on the front end. 4 more points. So, good partners are going to bring fresh ideas, strategic thinking to all of your marketing efforts. They're going to ensure your campaigns are both creative and effective. And so, finding the person that can do this or the agency that can bring this to the table is really important for your overall success. Next, like find somebody who's dedicated to understanding and meeting your unique needs and your own goals. So I put here like committed to clients, but it's more than just like committed to clients. It really is committed to their success. So find somebody who really wants you to win, not just find another client for their roster. Like find somebody that like believes in you, believes in your vision, and is going to be committed to that too. Did I repeat communication and collaboration? Oh my gosh, I did. Look at that. Well, that's how important it is. So I'm sticking by it. We could skip it though. I don't have to talk about it again. And then finally, your partner should have a good culture fit. So they need to be somebody whose values, and work styles align with your own company culture and can lead to a more harmonious and productive relationship. And so if those values don't align, like we talk a lot about that when we hire for our own like company culture, but it's also really important when we're outsourcing to anybody. And honestly, like I don't care if it's your CPA or you're a lawyer or you're a marketer, like when you're outsourcing any service, still finding somebody that like fits who you are is really important. And here's what I realized just now. That communication and collaboration on this slide is actually supposed to be contracts. And this is important. So I'm going to talk about it, even though you're not seeing it on the slide deck. Sorry, y'all. But partners should be transparent about pricing and contract terms, like no weird hidden fees. And it lays out like clear ownership of content that's created, projects that are created, analytics, and ads accounts. So here's the horror story, and this is why it should be here, highlighted a little bit more better than it is. But the horror story is how many clients that have come to us, they've left a shadency, so they've left a shady agency, and they're transferring things over to us. And we're like, oh yeah, that's great. Can we get access to your analytics? And the former agency won't hand it over. They've said, no, we're the ones that created that analytics account. That belongs to us, not to the client. And like, I'm not kidding. This is like real life that this has happened. It's also happened where they've been like in their WordPress website and they won't turn over the admin of that. Then they're like, well, if you look at your contract, if you leave us, even though you already paid for that website, we're the owners of that website. You have to pay us an X amount of dollar fee for separation. And like holding those things hostage, ads accounts. I have had to restart ads accounts, which is just all of this is incredibly unethical. I can't imagine running a business this way from this place of scarcity instead of abundance. I could talk about this all day long. But these contracts are really important when you're choosing the right partner to make sure these things are lined out. Even if we're like, this would never happen, it does all the time. Like, I don't even have that big of a business, and I hear these stories all the time. And so just make sure when you're entering into these agreements that like you're looking at all of those pieces. Okay, moving on. So here's where you go. Like now you're choosing the people. We have these things in mind. Like, how do you know? So like we know contracts are important. We know collaboration's important. We know community. Like, how do you know? So you have to research potential partners. Here's this like, sure, you save time from hiring someone, but you still are gonna have to go do a little bit of research to choose. Do you want a freelancer? Do you want an agency? Which one do you want? And then you can start going down from there. You're going to need to review their portfolios, each side. You're going to read their testimonials that they're speaking of, and then you interview your short list. So research everybody, like take a list of 10, research all of them, then have a short list of 2 or 3 and like interview them. Like you are in control. You don't have to go with the first person that a friend recommended or that came across your Google search. And then interview them. And then here are just some examples of some sample questions. If you want me to email these to you later, you can email me and I'd be happy to send them to you. I have more as well. This is all that fit on the slide. Questions like, can you describe the team members who are going to be assigned to our project? What are their specific roles and their expertise? Can we speak to some of your past clients? I've had people ask. I don't know that anyone has ever actually called those numbers that I've given them, but I do have clients that are willing to take phone calls and emails from potential clients. And so see if they have any of those that they're willing to do that. And then I really do think it's important to have them explain their pricing structure and the terms of contracts. Like, are there any hidden fees? If you sign up, are you committing to a year or more, or is it month to month? Like, those are really important things for you to know ahead of time before you even, finally make your decision. Okay. So next I get to talk about like a really fun case study because I promised you case study examples. So this is one that we love talking about. We are working for the Oklahoma Touchdown Club. So OU, which is my alma mater, is a huge football school, if you are familiar with that. And so they came to us. I spoke at a event last year, I think it was, and talked about social media. And they approached afterwards, and they have an older membership with some technology changes. So during COVID, or I should say before COVID, and I hate talking about COVID stuff, but changed a lot of things. They were able to put like their membership thing inside of a season ticket holder's tickets when they were mailed out. And it was like, you just got your season tickets, join the Touchdown Club, you get free parking, you get early access to important games, like all of this sort of thing. Well, post that, when everything went electronic, there was no more insert. And so their membership started dwindling. They also had limited resources. Like all of the money that they take in goes back out to support the program. So they have 2 people that have been there for like 30 years and they had no expertise in social media, but they knew that they needed to start talking to a younger crowd. So they were able to outsource to us. And we reactivated an account that hadn't been touched in probably 5 years. We increased engagement by, like thousands, 10,000%. I can't even remember like the month over month. It's like insane. And we're able to promote memberships so that they were finally starting to sell memberships in a way that they had never sold them before. Another really great example about this specific client too is that we're only where their people are. So they wanted to be like, where are we on social media? We're not doing TikTok. We're not even on Instagram. Like, we are squarely in Facebook because of the demographic that they were looking for. And it's just gone gangbusters. And if you want to go look up OU Touchdown Club on Facebook, go like them and follow them and go look at all of the cool stuff that we've created for them. So love talking about them. I'm almost done, Michelle. I know I'm running late on time. So some practical insights. So we've talked about this. Again, I'm going to repeating a lot of things here, but it's just important to go back over. So clear communication with the people that you're outsourcing with. Are you going to have regular meetings? How are the updates coming so that you can keep everybody together? Defining goals. So, like you, as the marketing professional inside of an organization or as the business owner, you need to be like, here's our vision. Like, here are my defined goals. It's up to your outsourced people, your outsourced teams to meet those goals. But you have to define them, right? Sometimes we have like a shared responsibility. I have so many people that are just like, I don't know what this should be. That's okay. But you need to have your overall vision of we're trying to grow by X amount. We think that these are the ways that we're going to do it, and then have that conversation. Analytics reviews. Regularly review analytics, have feedback sessions, and help track that progress so that everybody's making necessary adjustments. So I'm going to pick on SEO a little bit here, but you work with a lot of outsourced individuals like freelancers or agencies, and they're like, we're doing your SEO. And you may not have any expertise in that at all. And granted, I'm talking to a very technical audience here, but for the most part, people don't have any knowledge about what that means or what those activities are. And so agencies or freelancers tend to just be like, oh, yeah, we're doing that. And it's on autopilot. And there's no really like analytics review or feedback session or reports that are coming out of that. And so you want to make sure that you're having those. And then also, marketing landscapes change really quickly. So not only does like your outsourced person have to be flexible, but like you do too. And so just keep that in mind. You need to be involved in everything that's happening. You're the one with the knowledge about your business. So just like our construction company that we worked with that didn't end successfully, we needed them to be involved. We needed them to give feedback and collaborate with us to let us know like where we were going wrong so that we can improve. If we don't know, if we don't have that feedback, like there's absolutely no way that we can meet those expectations if they haven't been clearly communicated. Building a long-term relationship. Like I was at a client party this week. Like they were celebrating their 5th anniversary and I went over there to go celebrate with them. That's because like we've started to create long-term relationships that honestly just lead to more successful outcomes for the client because we're able to do that. I'm going to skip this one and go to continual improvement. So this feedback and feedback loop is really important for the success of your work with an outsourced professional. And so you have to be able to give someone critical feedback, know that it's not going to hurt their feelings, and that feedback and collaboration is just going to be better for your business. And so you have to do that piece. And finally, is like this trust aspect is like, if you've come to me and you've asked me to handle your marketing and we have gone through all of the interviews and you've seen all of the things and everything that I tell you or everything that I do for you is just filled with doubt. It's filled with, oh, this isn't going to be good enough. How do I know that they know what they're talking about? All these things. Like, this trust piece is so important. And so we talk about like our ideal clients, rely on our expertise and they trust that we know what we're doing. And if someone doesn't trust us, they're not an ideal client. And sometimes we need to exit them too, because it's just not a good fit for anybody. It also puts you as the marketing professional who's outsourced a team or as the business owner in this place of like constantly doubting and double checking. And now you've created like this whole other level of work for yourself that just is not going to be successful. This is so important for me that I left it here. Or I added a quote here. Like Stephen Covey says, like, trust is the glue of life. And like, isn't that true? Like, no matter who it is, like trust is the glue. And it's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. So whether it's with your client, your team, or anybody, here's like, if you don't listen to anything else, I guess I should say, when you're outsourcing, make sure you're outsourcing to somebody that you can trust and just let them do their job. Okay. I'd love to open the floor for any questions you may have. Feel free to ask about any aspect of outsourcing, how maybe it could benefit, your working relationships to your business. You can ask like detailed questions. So you can ask about specific scenarios that you're facing right now. I'd be happy to talk through that or give any other guidance for anything we've covered today.